Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Navy and I'm back with a brand new video. Today, guys, we're going to be doing Season 25 Legends tier list. If you enjoy, like, comment, subscribe, but without further ado, let's jump straight into this. So here we have it. We literally are ready to go. I cannot wait to get stuck straight in. Today, I have made it S+ all the way down to E because I do believe there is a lot of Legends now that actually are higher than S. And of course, at the end of the day, that are all starting to scale more and more to the top of the tier list. So it's going to be exciting to see what happens and yeah, just work out where we think everybody belongs this season. So first off, we've got Alta, and I mean, at the end of the day, guys, if you don't think Alta is S+, I don't know what you're thinking, because this legend is just so broken. I do think she needs to be nerfed slightly. I don't want to see it nerfed much because at the end of the day, I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to make all legends more viable and usable, but Alta just gives you so many get out of free jail cards. It is ridiculous. This legend is just too broken. This legend honestly has to go in S+. It's no doubt about it in my mind. Straight on up there. Moving into next, we have Ashe, and I know this is all going in alphabetical order, but oh my gosh, you know, Ashe is just so good. Ashe, in my opinion, is the best legend. I think she's got such good movement. I think she's got such good abilities. She is simply incredible, and one of the main legends that I have been playing so often in the last season and two. It's been honestly so good, and yeah, I think at the end of the day, you know, if you want somebody with movement, a solo legend essentially, it also is great as a team, you know, can pick fights out and also can work in a team environment. Ashe does it all. Ashe is a really good legend. Ashe, you are S+. There's no doubt about it. Get yourself up there. Moving into next, we've got Ballistic. I mean, if you guys haven't realized that this is the comp this season and last season, I don't know once again where you've been. Ashe, Alta, and Ballistic are the most broken legends at the moment. They honestly probably all need a small nerf, but at the end of the day, they've all got the best win rates at the moment in the seasons, and the play rate is so damn high. Ballistic is so strong, and his Whistler, his abilities, especially with how strong the devotion is in a sling this season, he is just untouchable. He is so good, and wow, what a legend. Yeah, S+. Moving into next, we've got Bangalore. Now, I like Bangalore, I really do. I think she's been such a good legend throughout the seasons. She's had a few up and downs, but majority of the time, she's still always stayed at the top. You know, there has been times where she's been nerfed and there's been changes, but you know, no matter what happens, Bangalore still remains relevant. Bangalore is still a great legend to be using. Now, do I think Bangalore is as broken as the ones in S+? No, I don't. I think she's in a perfect spot in my personal opinion, and I don't think she needs any tweaks. So for that reason, I'm going to put her in S, because I think at the end of the day, the S+ section is going to be for those legends that probably need a small tweak just to make them a little bit less broken. But I think S, yeah, they're sitting in a nice spot, and honestly, Bangalore, great legend, sitting in a fantastic position right now. Moving into next, we have got Bloodhound. Now, Bloodhound is a big fan favorite. Been obviously around since the game came out. I think Bloodhound is awesome. I've got Bloodhound's heirloom. I think the skins from Bloodhound are brilliant, but just Recon's legends are struggling, and they are the tier that I think need the most love at the moment. I do think at the end of the day, the support legends managed to hold their ground pretty well with their upgrades. You know, the assault are really strong with their upgrades that they've been given in their classes, and then of course as well, you've got the skirmishers that are looking incredible as well with their ones. I think Recon are the ones that need it next. Controller legends, they can hold their own, they can do good, but I just feel like Recon legends need that next little touch up, and I think that is where people like Bloodhound are struggling. So I feel like Bloodhound is a very, very fun, awesome legend, but I don't think I can put Bloodhound that high up on the tier list. So I'm going to try and be brutal, and I'm going to try and not, you know, just stick everyone at the top section, because this is what I do genuinely believe. I think I'm going to put Bloodhound in C, just because I think Recon legends need that legend upgrade for their tier list. But yeah, that's what we got first of all. Is that right? Yeah, they're for their class. Moving into next, we've got Catalyst. Catalyst, brilliant legend. Honestly, one of the best controller legends that there are out there. She is brilliant. Honestly, I think at the end of the day, if you are playing a scrims, if you're playing competitive, this is the legend you want to be running. Of course, at the moment in ranked that we obviously are experiencing, ranked is all about being aggressive and just pushing and pushing and pushing. Now, she can be good for that. She can be good for rotations. She can be good for countering an aggressive push. But I just think at the end of the day, at the moment, with the meta, She doesn't fit into it as well, but neither does any controller legend, in my personal opinion, because it's all about aggression. But at the end of the day, competitive-wise, she is solid. She is great. She deserves it. S tier. Doesn't need any nerfs or anything like that. I think at the end of the day, when the controller legends class buffs come in, I think then, yeah, we're going to probably be looking at a lot of different meta. Hopefully, you know, ranked will be different by then, and hopefully you'll actually have to start playing for placement, not just going for kills. But for now anyway, I think Catalyst sits in a sweet spot because of how good she is in competitive, and yeah, just how good she is just in general as well. Moving into next, we have Caustic. Now, Caustic, unfortunately, is just the biggest controller legend out there, and that is a negative on his part, because at the end of the day, he's so chunky, he can't make the rotations that potentially you want. And even though he's probably the most aggressive, you know, controller legend that they have, I do find that his abilities are just not really suited to him as well as they could be. Like, don't get me wrong, you know, holding down a building with his barrels are great, and of course his ultimate is fantastic for, you know, getting a situation where maybe you're trying to stop a push and, you know, pushing people out. But I just feel like, you know, you struggle to be aggressive with him, you really do. And I think at the end of the day, you know, when the controllers legends get a buff, you know, he might be a bit more relevant, but I still don't think he's in the top tier part of the controllers. I think his hitbox really does let him down, and I think at the end of the day, he almost needs a little bit of loving. So I think I'm going to put Caustic in B. Once again, probably seems a bit harsh, but I just don't see him being in the S or near the A, in my personal opinion. Next up, we've got Conduit. Now, Conduit, fantastic legend, really cool. Obviously, support's got a lot of love in a couple seasons ago. And yeah, I mean, out of all support legends, she's not the best one, but she's very, very strong. I love her movement and her abilities. And I think, you know, if you've got a good Conduit on your team, you can really benefit from it. As long as they're switched on and know when to, you know, pop their abilities, pop the Q, so you can get some shields back really quickly. It honestly pairs up really, really nicely. Now, at the end of the day, though, where do I think she actually sits? Do I think she's one of the stronger support legends? I feel like she... I almost want to say if there was an A+, I'd put her in A+, because I don't think she maybe belongs in S. I'm looking at more of a couple other legends that I think belong in S. I think I'm going to put Conduit in A. That's my honest opinion. I just think, you know, she is a great legend, but I think that she could be slightly better. But... you know, maybe not a lot of changes though, just a little bit, just to get her up into that S section. Next up, we've got Crypto. Now, Crypto is brilliant legend again, but I mean, I was watching the ALGS last night, and I was watching EMA, and at the end of the day, when I was watching that, you know, there was a lot of people saying about how they're now picking Sparrow over Crypto, because with Crypto you are basically stuck in crypto jail, especially as an IGL. You spend a lot of time in a drone and you're not shooting your gun the way you should be in a BR. But at the end of the day though, like, he is really good. I mean, the fact that you can go invisible when you're in your drone is fantastic. If you're trying to rat, potentially you're trying to survive for as long as possible, you can go invisible and people aren't going to be able to see you. They might be able to hear you, but you can get away with a lot of murder basically by not being spotted. It's brilliant. And of course as well, his ultimate comes back very, very quickly. The EMP is so good for those pushes. If you pop that down and get aggressive and push, knock their shields off, stun them a little bit, yeah, they're sitting ducks essentially at that point. So there's a lot going for Crypto. But once again, I do think Recon Legends need some love. So I think for that reason, I'm gonna put Crypto in A, because I think he needs a little bit of loving from, once again, the Legends classes. But I don't think he's strong enough to be sitting in S, purely because you have to spend a lot of time in your drone, which means you can't be as active and fighting as much. You know, you're essentially playing then as your team as a 2 rather than a trio. But yeah, that's what I think. Next up, we've got Fusey. Fusey, what a cool legend. You know, I love the background of Fusey, love the confidence, love the voice lines. Fusey is sick. And of course, at the end of the day, Fusey has a brilliant tactical where he can continuously poke people. He has a brilliant ultimate, which is perfect for disengaging or being aggressive and engaging if you're wanting to pin down a team and keep them in there. And of course, as well, you get vision when having your ultimate around people. So, you know, he covers a lot of areas. And I think at the end of the day, like, he is awesome. He's very, very cool. As well, you can scan with Fusey. You know, you can scan beacons. So if you're looking at competitive side of things as well, this is really, really good to have a Fusey on your team. And I can see why so many teams, when once again I was watching competitive Apex yesterday, that there was so many people playing Fusey. And I think that is the difference with having a Fusey over, say, maybe a Maggie, is the fact that you can gain a lot of knowledge with him. And yeah, he's just an awesome legend. So I do think he needs to sit in S tier. I don't even think he's S+, because I don't think he needs any changes. But yeah, definitely up there in my opinion. Next up, we've got Gibraltar. Now, Gibby is awesome, and Gibby, once again, is one of those ones that he's been around since the beginning. You know, you can't help but love Gibraltar. Gibraltar actually was the first legend that I really started to play when I first played Apex, because in my mind his ultimate was so freaking cool, and I got so many kills using it because nobody really knew what they were doing at the time. And yeah, it was really, really awesome. But you know, Gibby's hitbox is just so big. Like, he is such a big lad. But of course, in bubble fights he's so strong with shotgun meta, and of course the Eva 8 being very strong this season does work in his favor. You know, you can pair that up with him and of course then be more aggressive in those bubble fights, and it will be really beneficial to you. But at the end of the day, he is really big. On rotations, he does suffer. He almost does need, once again, maybe a little bit of loving. I don't think he needs a lot, but I do think he's probably on par with Conduit in A tier. That's what I'm thinking. Next up, we are going to go with Horizon. Horizon got a small buff. We didn't see too much change. Of course, Horizon's always been one of those really strong legends anyway. And of course, there was many seasons where Horizon was meta all the damn time. We saw her in competitive and she was just honestly thriving. Now, of course, she's had some changes and of course, she has started to go down the pick rate a little bit more. But at the end of the day, if you are somebody who loves movement and loves, you know, being able to pop up in the air, pull a battery, land back down and get ready to fight again, you know, she's the legend for you. And of course, with the new upgrade that she has where she can actually gain back some shield when jumping off of a gravity lift, it's really nice. Yeah, so yeah, there's a lot going for her. I do feel like there's a lot of better legends than Horizon, but it's hard to not say that Horizon is strong. I think in the right hand you are looking at a very good Skirmisher. And of course, with the Skirmisher upgrades coming in, you know, it makes it even better as well. So I feel like I'm going to put her in S tier. I think I'm going to put her in S because I think she is a good solo fighter. And of course as well, you know, that she's got a lot of things going for her with her upgrades and that. I just think, yeah, I think if I was going to put her anywhere, I'll put her in S. Moving into next, we have Lifeline. Now, Lifeline, once again, fantastic legend. The best support legend out there, no doubt about it. You know, I was about to say Mirage, I looked at him. No, Lifeline is just simply so good because obviously the ultimate is brilliant for not only, you know, holding an area, healing up, resetting for a res, but at the end of the day, her drone is so powerful for keeping you in fights and keeping you alive. There's just so much going for you. You know, if maybe you're running short on heals, Lifeline can heal you. There's just so much going for her. You know, the fact you now can glide on your drone to have better movement. You know, there's just so much going for Lifeline. She is honestly sick. And I do think actually that she belongs to be in the top section with the big boys. Because I think at the end of the day, Lifeline is genuinely such a strong legend. If you're having a team fight and you're against a Lifeline, that can be the make or break. Because they can reset and get you back up before the third party even comes in so damn quick. And I don't think you're going to get that with any other legend, so that is personally why I think Lifeline is S+. Moving into next, we do have Loba. Now, Loba is awesome legend. I really like her abilities. I like her background. I loved her story when she first came into Apex, how Revenant killed her father, and now she's back with a vengeance. But she also does lack in some areas. She's got awesome movement and really cool abilities where obviously she can gain a lot of loot. And if you're in a situation where maybe you are playing competitive or maybe you are playing ranked and you're struggling for heals, she can sort that out. She can get you back into the game. And if you maybe die, you need a quick reset, she's a legend for you there again because she's got the support perks. So she's going to be able to get you full health very quickly after a res. And of course, res quicker. Oh, you know, it's just a lot going for her. And also, you know, what's an attractive legend? But I think at the end of the day, you know, if you look at it right, where do I think she actually belongs? I do love her movement, and I do think that's one of the game breakers for her. She does have incredible movement with her bracelet, her charms. Where do I think she belongs? Ooh. I don't think I think because like her ultimate is not groundbreaking. It's great for loot. Her Q is brilliant for movement. I think I'm going to put her in A because I don't think she's good enough to be an S, but I do feel like she's definitely up there with the other supports, and I wouldn't look at her and go, nah, she's not that great. I do think she's probably one of the better ones out of the lot of them. So yeah, I think I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to stick with A. Moving into next, we got Mad Maggie. Mad Maggie, fantastic legend, very similar to Fusey, and once again saw her popping up quite a lot in, you know, comp yesterday when watching that on the ALGS live stream. It was fantastic, and yeah, I think Maggie, in my personal opinion, is once again one of my fave legends as well. I love her drill. I think her drill is fantastic for those abilities where you are trying to poke somebody out, or if you're, you know, just continuously getting a team that is covering themselves, hiding behind cover, and you want to keep being aggressive and keeping that, you know, nuisance to poke on. Where as well, her ultimate is so good for pushing, you know, depending on what legends you're pushing in on, her Maggie Ball can destroy a lot of things, and it will really make a difference in an aggressive push and can really potentially make the difference. Also as well, she has obviously, you know, her passive, which is good for shotguns, and like I've already mentioned, the Eva Ray is really strong this season. So I mean, if you run an Eva Ray on Maggie and then something else, you're going to benefit a lot, especially when pushing in on those fights, because you're going to have more speed and aggression and a lot of other legends. It's honestly really good. I think the only thing that lets her down a little bit compared to Fusey is just the fact that she can't get the knowledge from scanning anything, but I think at the end of the day, with the assault perks as well, I think she's definitely S tier. Moving into next, we have Mirage. Now, Mirage, okay, fan favorite. I know everybody loves Mirage. I have never been a massive fan of Mirage. I've never really looked at them and gone like, yeah, Mirage is really good and Mirage is meta. Mirage is needed in my team, because I actually don't think he is. I think yes, he's good for bamboozling, and yes, you can get reses off with him because he goes invisible. But at the end of the day, if you are smart and you listen, you can work out where they are. And of course, they'll come out of their cloak quite fast anyway as well. You don't get a lot of get out of free jails cards with Mirage personally. I mean, if you look at the other legends like somebody like Gibby or Lifeline, Newcastle, they can all res people and not be in fear of getting killed essentially. But Mirage can, you know, Mirage is essentially, he's almost like naked there on the floor. Like, apart from the fact that you can't see him, you know exactly what to do. Like, if you can hear and work it out, it's just 3 shots and somebody resin. Like, it doesn't take a, you know, it doesn't take a genius to work it out. I do think at the end of the day, yes, his ultimate can be really annoying and all that, but I think if you use your common sense and actually work out straight away which one definitely is going to be the clone, and which one is going to be the real him, it's quite easy to work out. So I think I'm going to upset people here, but I am going to put him in B, which is quite controversial because obviously I put Loba in A, and I do feel like they're not too different apart, but I just feel like Loba can probably bring more to the team than Mirage can bring to the team. Mirage almost feels a little bit more like a solo player in my eyes. He'd be good for, like, yeah, those solo moments where you're just trying to survive late game, but I think, yeah, nah, B. Moving into next, we are going with Newcastle. Now, Newcastle, what a legend. Once again, fantastic legend. Brilliant for obviously holding down areas, brilliant for rezzing and resetting, and he just holds down areas so well. The fact that you can now move your shield as well while being down is mental. Your mobile shield can just come along with you wherever you want to go. Yeah, he can get a team back into a fight very fast. Not as fast as Lifeline, but at the end of the day, Newcastle can do it safer, and Newcastle has a lot of movement, and it just, honestly, it's a nuisance when you come up against one, because you're just thinking to yourself, oh god man, I'm going to really struggle to get this guy. I'm going to really struggle to get the reset off, like stop him from resetting. It's going to be difficult, and I think that is the difference with, you know, looking at the other support legends and what Newcastle could definitely bring to the team. So yeah, I think as well with his ultimate holding down areas, I think he's got to be S+. I really do. I think at the end of the day, they are both very strong legends for supports, Lifeline and Newcastle, and I don't think he would really belong any lower. Moving into next, we have Octane. I'm going to upset people here because, you know, I've had a lot of people always say this to me, going, oh, you don't know how to play Octane. You don't know how to use him. Guys, Octane needs help. Octane is rubbish. Octane, unfortunately, is an E tier legend, okay? I'm sorry, but out of all the skirmishers, he is the worst. He does not benefit at all from being in a skirmisher. He is just seriously let down with obviously the way legends have moved, developed, and changed. Octane's been left behind. Like, he has been left behind. He has to use abilities to actually get faster, and of course he uses health in order to use his abilities. He has a jump pad which you can be shot off of, which once again other legends have these sorts of abilities. Like if you look at somebody like Pathfinder, who's coming up next, who can put a zip line down and he will not gain as much damage. I feel like you need to, end of the day, make something like that for Octane. Maybe as soon as you hit a jump pad, you have a damage reduction. You cannot be shot as much, maybe by 50%, a little bit like zip lines then. He needs more. He needs something changed. And I think, to be honest, they should probably take away the fact that he loses health when stabbing himself with his adrenaline, because I just feel like at the end of the day, you know, it's not fair. It's not fair that he has to cost health to actually do things like this. I'm sure there'd be a better way to change that. So yeah, that's my personal opinion. I'd love to see them do something for Octane, because this is almost my cry for help. I think he needs it. Moving into next, we've got Pathfinder. Now Pathfinder, woo! Buffy's back, baby. Now, the only thing I struggle with Pathfinder is his hitbox. I think his hitbox is so damn chunky. But if you can play Pathfinder right and not put yourself in vulnerable positions and play the way it needs to be played, you can really excel being Pathfinder. And Pathfinder, like I mentioned earlier, the zip lines then being automatically on your zip lines is crazy good. Like, that is like honestly awesome. As well, of course, as well, we're getting, you know, potentially 2 grapples depending on what you take. I personally take 2 grapples because I think they're more valuable than having 2 zip lines saved up. But there's just so much going for him, you know. He really is up there, you know, being able to scan beacons and get knowledge and information for the team and competitive. Oh man, there's just, yeah, Pathfinder is great. I say the only thing that lets him down is his hitbox, and I think that's the only reason why I'd be like, oh yeah, maybe he needs to be a little bit lower. But I don't know, man. I think he is really strong. I think he actually probably is S+, to be brutally honest. I can't see him being any lower. I think he's great. Yeah. If you can get hold of the hitbox, you're laughing. Going on to next, we have Rampart. Rampart, brilliant legend. Fantastic legend. Another good controller legend. And she can really hold her ground with obviously Sheila and of course her barriers and stop them from getting pushed. I think Rampart is a great legend to have on your team. You can really hold down those areas and make a difference. And if you are in an open area, maybe having to struggle to fight to survive, she once again can be that legend that can make the difference. So I do think that she belongs in S tier. I don't think she is completely broken, because if you don't have Sheila out, then you know you're still having to play off of other things, you know. You're just having to play behind a barrier, so she doesn't bring as much in that aspect of things. But I think definitely when controller legends, once again, as I keep saying, when they get their class upgrades, I think we might see Rampart and S+. But for now, I'm going to say S. Moving into next, we've got Revenant. Now, Revenant, brilliant legend. Once again, he got a lot of love not too long ago. And I think when Season 24 first came out, I saw Revenant and I was there like, bro, he's going to be so broken. And not as many people playing him as I thought they would. He's got some seriously good movement, and he gets seriously hard to kill when he's in his ultimate. Of course, once again, once he does get a knock, he gets that ultimate refreshed. Boom, he's got more health again. He can be a real pain. In a team environment, he doesn't bring as much. You know, you need to very much be the fragger with your playing Revenant. You need to do all the damage and essentially make up for the abilities that you don't have for your team in that aspect of things, because if you are being aggressive as Revenant and you die, you don't bring anything to the team otherwise. You know, somebody like Pathfinder has zip lines then, which of course on every zip line, which means they can help rotate and things like that. And I think that's probably the difference, which is what we're going to see. You know, Revenant can be really good for ranked right now, but can Revenant be good for competitive? And I think that's where someone like Pathfinder would excel better. So I think Revenant's got to be S, 100% S, but I don't think S+, just because of the competitive side. Moving into next, we have got Seer. Now, Seer is, it's a shame, because Seer's just, you know, struggling. actually struggling. You know, there's just not a lot going on for Seer. Seer, Bloodhound, those Recon legends are just down in the dumps. I really enjoyed playing Seer back in the day, which I know that upsets a lot of people to say that, but I feel like Seer was just so fun to play, silencing people and, you know, and having them be able to use abilities was great. I do think he has a lot of scanning and a lot of knowledge that he can bring to a team, but I feel like I actually prefer Bloodhound to Seer, which I think is kind of like, it's a personal opinion. And I think that's probably what, you know, at the end of the day, it's got to be what you think. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. I'm just saying at the end of the day, I personally feel like I'd rather play Bloodhound than Seer. But I do enjoy playing Seer. But it's a shame because I think, once again, Recons need some loving. And potentially, you know, Seer might need a little bit of a buff. So would obviously Bloodhound. But yeah, I'm gonna put Seer in D. Sorry. Moving into next, the one that probably everybody's waiting for, Sparrow. Sparrow, the brand new legend of Season 25. What a cool legend. What amazing abilities. Wow. He is fun. And I think at the end of the day, when he first came out, a lot of us looked at him and went, oh, he's pretty good, but he's not overpowered. He's not broken. And I agree with that. He's not broken. Like, his ultimate is fantastic, but it is easy to counter. You can destroy it. It has it's like 500 health. You can make it, if everybody shoots it, like a Horizon ulti, everybody shoot it, you can get it killed. Or simply stand behind cover and you cannot take damage from it. There is ways to counter it, but if you put his ultimate in the right area at the right time, whoa. And of course as well, he has an upgrade which can gain health from his ultimate. Fantastic, amazing. And yeah, it makes a really big difference. I don't think his Q's fantastic. I think his Q's pretty basic. But if you're smart about it, you leave it up on a ceiling where maybe somebody doesn't notice it, and then it gets triggered off. Then of course you can gain some knowledge, which is quite handy. But they're very easy to kill. I mean, it takes one bullet. It doesn't take a lot. Maybe they need to change that. Maybe there needs to be a little bit more damage, maybe like 50 HP, just so there's a couple more shots on there. Not literally a case of shooting one bullet of your SMG and it'll be dead. But the main thing I think a lot of people love about Sparrow is the movement. Whoa, his jump is awesome. It's like a Vantage jump. You jump up in the air, it looks cool, it looks great. He's awesome, man. I really, really, really like Sparrow. And I think at the end of the day, you know, the fact that I saw him in competitive yesterday again just shows that he is up there. Now, where would I put him? I think, to be honest, if you play Sparrow right, S tier. I don't think he's S+, because I do think there is ways that he can be, you know, improve, like the Q and things like that. And of course you can counter his ultimate easily, but if you put that ultimate in the right place at the right time in a very big group fight, end game of ranked or something like that, he is going to make the difference. And yeah, the fact you can double jump up in the air and then pop your ulti down on somebody, wow. Moving into next, we've got Valkyrie. Valkyrie, fantastic legend. She doesn't get as much love as I think she really should. You know, she is a cool legend. She's obviously down as a recon, great for getting knowledge and obviously movement and scanning when obviously in her ultimate in the air. I think she's really cool. I think at the end of the day, if you want really good rotations, you need a Valkyrie. You know, if you're playing on a big map like Storm Point, Valkyrie will make that difference and you can really benefit from that. She's got obviously ability that she can easily get height for herself, and as well she can easily poke with her missiles. I do think she gets slept on quite a lot in competitive. Sometimes people forget about her. Of course, something in like ranked right now, she's not really used because once again, not the most aggressive person that you maybe want to be playing. But for competitive, I definitely think she's up there. I think I would still put her in S. I think at the end of the day, she's really, really good, and she is the sort of legend that will get you those rotations when you need it most. Moving into next, we've got Vantage. If you are a long-time subscriber and maybe watch my streams, you know that I hate Vantage. I think Vantage sucks. I think Vantage is such a selfish legend because all Vantage do is snipe. Now that there's a legend like Sparrow that actually has basically her ability, a Q, as a passive is crazy. So like that needs to be changed. I just feel like she's got a massive hitbox. She's such a blob. She doesn't do it for me. Oh, she really doesn't. Of course, yes, the fact that the time to kills changed, her sniper is more powerful, and that does make a big difference if you are hitting your shots of it. But do I think that she's groundbreaker or anything like that? No, I think there's so many better legends out there. I think, personally, I would put her in E. E tier. I won't put her in E, because I don't think she needs as much love as frickin' Octane, but she needs something. Last two, we've got Watson. Love Watson. I think Watson's such a good controller legend. Very, very similar to Catalyst in how that she can hold down a building very well with her fences, pop them down either side, sorted, no problemo. And of course, she's got an ultimate that can regen shields, which is great. So yeah, she's got a lot going for her. She's very small as well, tiny hitbox, which I awesome. Yeah, genuinely, Watson's great, very good for competitive. And I think for those reasons, she's got to go in S. And this is once again before controller legends have even got class upgrades. So they're going to get even better. And last but not least, we've got Wraith. I'm a Wraith main. Well, from back in the day, I've got 11k on her. I loved Wraith, you know, and yeah, the changes that they brought to Wraith were fantastic. You know, she is now back in action. She's now relevant again, and she's honestly up there. She's got a small hitbox. She's got a fantastic ultimate. She can phase so fast, so quickly. The fact you can come out when you want of it as well and catch people off guard is brilliant. She is like such a deadly assassin. She is great. I think she doesn't belong in S+, but I definitely say S. I don't think she needs any changes. I think she's in such a good spot. So guys, that is my Season 25 Apex Legends tier list. I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I'm pretty happy with it though. Guys, if you are happy with what I've done or not happy, let me know in the comments down below. But please, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I will do a gun tier list at some point. So make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that because that'll be the next one coming out next. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think below. And yeah, I'm going to shut up. See you all in the next video.